To get started with Google Docs on your iPad, you need to download some apps from the App Store. They're all free: Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. The Google Drive app will allow you to access all of your documents. However, if you want to be able to actually pull up a document or create a document or a sheet or a slide presentation, you have to have those other three apps in order to do so. So let's open up the Google Drive app first. And the first time you go in to the Google Drive app, you can scroll through their 3-slide presentation. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can press Sign In. And this is where you'll sign in with your Google account. So I'm going to sign in with my CSD Docs account. And once you sign in, you'll be connected to your Google Drive or your CSD Docs account. You'll see your folders, any documents you may have created. Because Google Drive is all online, you can have access to everything. So in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see some lines next to My Drive. When you click on those lines, this is where you'll see My Drive, anything that was shared with you, so your Shared With Me section. Recent, so recent documents you may have been working on. Starred, any documents you may have starred to have quick access to. Any documents you want to have access to offline. Anything you tap Keep Offline in your Files menu. If you're working somewhere where you don't have internet service, you can have access to those documents. The settings. This is where with your Google Drive you can create a passcode lock, meaning people would have to have a code to get into your Google Drive. And then photos. This will connect to your Picasa account if you have a Picasa account with Google. Okay, so let's go to My Drive. So you'll see I have my folders section, I have my files. You can change the view of your documents and folders by clicking on the icon next to the magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. This is now a list view. This is kind of like a block view. I like this view better. The little dots off to the side, that's how you can sort by. You can sort by name, last modified, last opened. You can also select, meaning you can select multiple. You can actually select multiple items at once. Or you can clear selection. Now, organizing your items in Google Drive on the app is actually pretty easy. It's just a matter of clicking and dragging and moving things where you want them to go. I'm going to clear this selection. You'll notice there's a plus sign in the bottom corner. This plus sign is where you can add items such as a folder. You can upload a file, and this upload, this will bring things from your iPad, meaning your photos and videos from your camera roll, anything you may have stored on the iCloud, and Google Drive. And this is also where I can create a new Google Doc, a Google Sheet, or a Google Slide. You can even use your camera to add a photo or a video right away. So I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to title this folder, just call it Practice. I'm going to press Create, and you'll notice the Practice folder is now in my folder section. I can go into that folder, and notice how that plus sign is still there. If I press the plus sign, I can create a Google Doc. Now remember, in order for me to create a Google Doc, I have to have that Google Docs app loaded, because it's now opening that app. It's directing me to give it a title, so we'll call this a practice document. And it opens the document for me, and I can start typing. You'll notice the keyboard automatically comes up. With the iPad, if you want to hide the keyboard, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's that keyboard with the downward arrow. I press that. If I want to bring the keyboard back, I just tap anywhere on the screen, and it comes back up. So I can start typing. And you'll notice it has the formatting tools as if I was online. I can make things bold, so I can tap on the word document. And I can select and press the B to bold it, italicize, and underline. I can make the text centered, left justified. I can make it a numbered list, a bulleted list. I can indent or take the indent away. I do like the option where you can insert a comment. So you'll see where when I tap on practice, this menu comes up where I can select all. If I just do select and insert comment, I can now insert a comment about this word. Maybe I'm telling a person, choose another word to use. I press the check mark to add my comment. The X will delete my comment. And anyone working on the same document can make comments anywhere on the page. You'll notice on the upper right-hand corner there's an arrow pointing to the left and an arrow pointing to the right. That's the undo button, the one that goes to the left. The arrow going to the right is the redo button. The little person with the plus sign, that's how I share the document. So I can enter the names or email addresses. So you want to share it with a Gmail account or a CSC Docs account. You can determine if that person can comment or view. So we'll share this with, I'll do it with my other Gmail account. And I press share. This is now shared with that person. I can copy the link to the clipboard and paste that in an email, or I can even send a copy of this. I can choose a PDF or Word format. And it'll ask me how I want to share it. And any apps on my iPad that allow me to share will come up as one of my options. So if I wanted to mail, it'll open my email, the documents there, and I can send it to the person I want to share the document with. I'm going to delete draft. The little speech bubble next to the person with the plus sign, that's where I can view my comments. So I can tap on the comment that was added. I can resolve or I can reply. Resolve lets them know I resolved the issue, so it's been done, and it unhighlights it. And the little dots next to the comment bubble, I can change the print layout so it looks more like view and print layout. I can find and replace. Maybe I'm looking for a specific word to replace. I can view the details. I can share and export. Feedback. This is sending feedback back to Google. The keep offline, that's where I can keep this offline so I can access it when I'm not on or not connected to the internet. And I can star the file so it shows up in my starred file section. When I'm done, I press the arrow next to the title practice document. That takes me back to my practice folder. And if I want to find my practice document, that's where the magnifying glass in the corner comes into play. I can press the magnifying glass, type practice, and any document I have with the title practice will come up. So you see I have practice document. The little dots off to the side, I can click on those dots. That's where I can quickly share, get a link. I can choose where to open it, and I can even move, because I want to move this into that practice folder. I choose the folder I want it to go into, move here. That document is now in my folder. So that's one way to move documents into folders. Or if I go back to my Drive page, I can click and drag documents into any folder I want them to go. And that's where the dots next to, or in the upper right hand corner, I can select more than one document, and I can move all of those into, because you see at the very bottom there's a star. I can star all of those, I can trash them all, or the little dots off to the side I can move, and I can choose the folder I want to move those documents to. If I want to unselect, I press those dots again and say clear selection. Okay, in my drive, I want to press that plus sign again. I want to open the Google Sheets this time. It's going to direct me to give it a title. We'll call this Practice Sheet. It opens the spreadsheet. And to start editing or add things or to add things to the sheet, I just tap in the cell that I want to add something to. If I double tap, the keyboard will come up. I want to hide the keyboard, I just press that keyboard button in the bottom corner. And then I can tap in the next box and keep editing. You'll notice as I double tap in the box, I have the formula that comes down at the bottom where I have my plus, minus, divide. So you can still do different formulas with the Google spreadsheets, and that's where you'll do it. When I have a cell selected, you'll notice there's a little paint bucket at the top of the screen. That paint bucket lets me change the text color, and it lets me change the fill color. So the fill color is the cell, like the background. The text color will be the color of the text. I can tap off that screen to make my selection. I can bold, italicize, and even do a strike through, meaning it crosses out what's in that text box or that cell. The A with the lines, that's my formatting, so that's where I can do more of the formatting, where I can left justify, center, right justify the text. I can make the text at the top of the box or the top of the cell, middle, bottom. I can even underline what's in that text or in that box. Sorry, I keep calling a box in the cell. I can change the font size. This is another place where I can change the text color. I can even change the font. You notice there's not a lot of font options. I have a few. And in the cell, I can change the cell, the fill color. I can give it borders. I can wrap the text. This is nice if your text is too long for the cell. Otherwise, it just keeps going in one straight long line. If you wrap the text, it makes it look more like a paragraph. If I want to merge cells, so if I select two cells, and I just press on that little blue circle in the bottom corner, if I press that A with the lines and go to the cell section, I can merge those cells. And then you can even number how you want your numbers to look in your cells. Like if you're dealing with money, decimals, dates. The plus sign allows me to add a column to the left or right, a row above or below. And then the dots off to the side, this is where you can do that find and replace if you're looking for a specific word or phrase. Details. It's how you can share and export. So if you wanted to share the spreadsheet with someone else to be able to edit, view, send a copy, print, you can save as an Excel, make a copy, or you can copy a link to the clipboard so you can paste it somewhere later. So the help and feedback, those are Google features. So if you need help, they have some different how-to documents. and the feedback is what you would provide to Google. And then you can keep this document offline so you can access it when you don't have internet service, and you can even star file. When I'm done, I just press the check mark at the bottom corner. And you'll notice at the bottom, we're currently on sheet 1. If I press the arrow next to sheet 1, I can duplicate, rename, I can even freeze certain rows. And if I want to add another sheet, there's a little plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner that allows me to add another sheet to this Google spreadsheet. And when I'm completely done, I press the arrow next to the title practice sheet. It takes me back to my Google Drive. And if I want to add that spreadsheet to my folder, I'm going to find it. Hopefully. Yep. Press the dots next to the title. I'm going to move. I'm going to choose my practice folder. I'm going to move it here. And when I'm done moving the items, I'm going to press that arrow next to practice, and I'm back to my drive. So let's add a slideshow presentation. Press the plus sign, press the Google Slides, and once again, I have this app loaded, so it's opening up the Google Slide program or app. We're going to call this Practice. Let's name it right. Practice Slideshow. And I like that it just tells you what to do. Double tap to add a title. So I'm just double tapping. You'll see those same formatting tools, the undo, redo arrows. The play, that's how you can actually play the presentation. The bold, I can bold the words, italicize, underline. The A gives me some more formatting options. I have that strike through, I can change the font. Once again, not a ton of options, but a few. I can change the font size, text color, I can even change the highlight color. So there's paragraphs, I can choose if it's left, justification, where it appears in the text box, the top, middle, bottom, indenting, the line spacing, and the shape. The shape is the text box that I'm typing in. The plus sign allows me to insert text and image. This can be from my photos, coming from my photo on my camera, or I can just take a photo. So the photos come from my camera, or I can actually take one. I can insert a line, I can even insert a table. And the dots off to the side allow me to show speaker notes. So if you want to keep notes as you are, or notes for your presentation, details about the slideshow, share and export. If you want to share, send a copy, print, you can save as a PowerPoint, make a copy, or copy that link. And the same thing, keep offline, star file. If I wanted to add another slide, on the bottom left-hand corner, you see a little square with the plus sign. That's how I can add another slide to my presentation. If you want to change the order of the slideshow, you just click and drag. Let's try this again. Click and drag down. And that's how you can change the order of your slideshow, or your slides in your slideshow. Then when you're done, you press the arrow next to Practice Slideshow. So let's find it and add it to my folder. I'm going to press the arrows next to the side, move, choose my folder, and move here. Something also nice to note, those little dots off to the side, you'll notice all the options that come in. There is this place where I can rename the document, I can remove, meaning I'm deleting it, I can print, or I can get details about that specific document.